Hey, you lovely people of YouTube. So today we are back with the Hyper 103. Right here, right here. We're gonna. Okay, let's carry on. So yeah, we're gonna be running some benchmark tests today. We're gonna be stressing the hell out of the CPU to see how well the CPU cooler handles under that stress. And then we're gonna do a sounds decibel test to see what results we get from that. So what we know about the Hyper 103. But we don't know much about it. So I did the research. I took time to do some research into the Hyper 103 to see what kind of features it has and see if it lives up to the table. You know what I mean? So all we know, it has patent air guide technology, which basically the way the fins are shaped, they're shaped like in a V. So if like it guides the heat to the fans quicker. So then the fan that's attached to the front shoots out of the back, and then the exhaust fan at the exterior of the case shoots that out into space somewhere. I don't know, like somewhere in space. So basically, we've got its Cooler Master exclusive X vent technology, which I'll show later in the video. There's like these little like copper like bullet looking things at the top of the heatsink. Those are shaped in an X. And so basically what that is, it allows heat to kind of escape from that. It's cool. It's kind of a guidance. It's literally what it says. Like, yeah. It's got 3 direct copper heat pipes, which is quite nice. It's really good for dispersing the heat and getting it to the heatsink quicker. So then the fan can blow it out of the heatsink and through the exterior fan. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a 92mm PWM fan, which means pulse width modulation. If you don't know what that means, it's basically any fan or any CPU cooler that has a fan and it's PWM, it means you can control its speeds in the BIOS. So if I wanted the fan to run at 70% usage at all times, it can do that. I don't know, like this, I think this fan goes up to like 2200 RPM, so obviously 70%. I can't be bothered to do math right now, but it's somewhere around about like 2000, just below, I don't know. But you have that at all times, no matter how much CPU usage you use, how much the CPU is being stressed, the fan will just keep that constant speed at all times. We know that the fan is easy snap on with its 4 plastic brackets on each corner. We know that it has, well, what I know when I did research, it has 40,000 hours of mean time to failure, MTTF. So obviously, basically the producers and the engineers all stress the hell out of the CPU until it breaks. That's literally it. And it's supposed to have 40,000 hours. I'm not going to do that test. There's no point in me doing that test. It's crazy. I can't even get it to like 10,000 hours, let alone for like 40,000. You know what I mean? It takes a hell of a long time. It claims to have noise levels of between 17 to 30 decibels, which we'll find out later on in the video. I'll show you how we do that test in the next video that'll come up. But yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be going on to the on-screen recording right now, and I'll tell you more about what we're going to be doing. Ciao. Yo, Gnome here again. We're going to tell you lot how I'm doing the sound decibel test. So basically, we're just going to get any sound testing kit on the App Store or Google Play for me because I'm on Android. And then we're just going to run that for about 5 minutes. For this app that we got, it gives us an average, a minimum, and a maximum, which is really helpful. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to measure the average of the ambient sound in the room. We're going to take that away from the average sound we'll get from the CPU cooler, which you see right there, and then from that we'll give you a lot of result and compare it to the other fans that are on the market too. So
Back, you lovely people.
back to the video.
You join me on the on-screen capture, which is, if you're wondering what I'm using to record this, is Radeon software. Obviously, it's recording right now. Yep, it's got my clips and the games I play. But yeah, so we're going to be using for this test. So we're going to be using Speccy64 to run temperature checks, and we're going to be using CPU-Z to run our stress test. So as you see here, it's idling at between temperatures of 36 to like 39. Not so bad. It's actually not bad on idle. Just gonna do a quick check, see if all of our components are registered. Yep, it's looking fine. We've got a 3570K. We've got clocked out 4.1 gigahertz, which is nice. Cache is fine. Mainboard's fine. Memory's fine. Yep, it's good. Yep, looking good. Looking good. Nice. So, take you through the bench. So basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using version 1.91.0, which is not the latest because there's now a version 1.92. I can't bother to download it, but yeah, we're going to be using the benchmark version 19 just to stress the hell out of it. So the plan, or the thesaurus I've got, is that as soon as we stress the hell out of it right at the start, these are probably going to jump. This temperature over here is probably going to jump up by 20 degrees Celsius, which is perfectly fine, and that's actually perfectly fine for a stress test. Run it for 20 minutes. During those 20 minutes, we'll see if the temperatures go up by how many degrees, and then we'll compare it to the other CPU coolers that we have on the market at the moment. So we'll probably be comparing it to like Noctua, Phantom, Be Quiet, Cooler Masters, Hyper 212 maybe, and so on and so on. And we'll compare it to the stock one, like the Intel stock one as well. So that'd be fun. So let's start stress test now. Let's see what we get on the screen. So yeah, we jumped up by 20 degrees already, which is pretty damn good guess. Jesus Christ. Yeah, hovering around about between 55, 58, which is not bad. But yeah, we'll let this run for 20 minutes. We'll come back at 13 minutes past 5, and then we'll give you lot a result, an average. But yeah, I'll transfer you over to on-camera GnomeT to give you the decibel test and what we're going to do on that. Alright,
bye. And just after showing you lot on the screen recording, on the on-screen recording, yeah, that's how the test is done. We left it for about 20 minutes on the stress test, and we also left the decibels test on next to the screen, next to the computer for about 5 minutes. So I've got the results here. So it's quite interesting actually. The Hyper 103 put up a really decent fight here. So on to the temperatures. At constant stress, I'm going to show the graphs now. I'm going to put them on screen. We see that the Hyper 103 sticks at around 38 degrees Celsius, which is really nice. The Dark Rock Pro 3 Be Quiet sticks at around 35 degrees, which is 3 degrees difference between that and the Hyper 103. This is where it gets really interesting, right? So the Hyper 212 Evo sticks at around 39 degrees, which is 1 degree worse than what the Hyper 103 is. It's crazy, but it goes to show what 21 pounds does between like a Hyper 103 and something like Hyper 212 Evo, which runs at about like what 25 to 30 quid. I can't remember, but yeah. Anyway, let's carry on. Arctic Freezer 7 Pro, 46 degrees, which is probably the worst. Yeah, which is the worst in this test. Which, to be fair, Arctic Freezer 7 Pro, it's not the most expensive. It's meant to be budget friendly anyway, so it kind of makes up for its price at that point. Noctua NHD15 typically for Noctua, they are very good at their engineering when it comes to fans and CPU cooling. But if you lot are into CPU coolers, go check them out. It will tell you everything about it. It's crazy. It's awesome. It shows you how much enthusiasm they put in behind their work, which is nice. Raintech Themis 34.4 degrees Celsius, which is not too bad. Fantex PH TC120X, also followed by the same result as well as the Raintech Themis. It's nice. I'm going to tell you a lot. The way we did the test is we've done it in Delta T, which is basically we've got the ambient temperature of the room at the current time of testing, which was 20 degrees Celsius, and we minus that from the stress test results in average results at the time. So if you was to see how these results are done before doing the Delta T, you just add 20 onto each. That leads us on to our sound test, which is done in decibels, obviously. Even though the Hyper 103 did really well, it does lack when it comes to giving out sound. So obviously here it runs at 45 decibels, which is the loudest in this test, unfortunately. But yeah, it shows what sacrifice it makes and what problems it faces. But yeah, Dark Rock Pro 3, 39.9, Hyper 212 Evo, 34.3. Even though it had a worse temperature in Hyper 103, it does come back with 34.3 decibels, which obviously shows up, I guess, in price. Arctic Freezer 7 Pro, 36.8 decibels, which is nice. Even though it was the hottest, it did make up in volume and noise from its fan. The Noctua NHD15, followed by its decent cooling. It also follows with a decent fan noise. 35.1 decibels. Can't beat that, especially with the engineering behind it. It shows in its tests. Racing Tech Themis 40 decibels, which is unfortunately the second loudest in this test today, which it's alright, it's not even that bad, but yeah. Leads us on to our final, which is the Fantex PHTC120X at 36 decibels. And yeah, with all the results done, that leads us on to our outro and the answer to the title of this video. Is it worth it in 2020? Yeah, I think it is. Like, the Hyper 103 is mental. It's I'll quickly get it. For its price at £21, like, it definitely shows in results that this cooler can keep up with the others. It says silent cooling performance. Like, you've seen the test. It doesn't. It's kind of a bunch of lies. I'm not going to swear on this channel. There's no swearing. Keep it child friendly. Yeah, it's nice. The thing it shocks me is how well it done against the 212 Evo. Even though the 212 Evo is not the greatest of CPU coolers, out of its big brother, the 212, or its older brother, yeah, the 212, degree worse than the Hyper 103. And the thing I want to talk about is that the Hyper 103 is not even talked about. It's hardly talked about. I look all over YouTube and you don't see much of this Hyper 103 being talked about, because with my experience and with my build, it shows that it's a pretty decent cooler, like, and I don't know why people don't talk about it. I would call it the underdog for sure. I want to end this on a high note and say what you lot doing in these quarantine times. Comment in the box below, because pandemic's got us staying indoors at these terrible times. We have to, like, stay indoors. So I want to know what you lot are doing. Are you lot doing gaming, DIY builds, computer builds, like sleeping? Because we've got to do something to pass the time, eh? But make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you lot in the next one. Oh, before I end the video, I want to make some announcements for the next video. So future plans, we have got, if you lot haven't noticed in the corner of the video, we've got ourselves the Ryzen 5 3600, not the X, just the 3600. Got myself some Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut conductor thermal paste, which works beautifully when it comes to keeping temperatures cool. Oh yeah, I use Thermal Grizzly, by the way, for every single fan that we did in the test today. So yeah, did that. It's good. I've got myself the MSI B450 Mortar Max. If you lot haven't seen it in my Instagram, which is in the link below, it's at gnome.tech. Now I can do my outro. So yeah, I will see you lot in the next video. Ciao.